made out of narwhal tusk. The narwhal tusk you see there. It's inlaid with semi-precious stones. All found from Nunavut. At the top is a diamond.
Okay.
That was found in Nunavut, the diamond right here on the top.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to ask, what's that?
At the front of the painting here, we have this little room here, the bird, the illustration of the book itself, the earth. Frost. So what happens is when the assembly is in session, the sergeant of arms will carry the mates in, and then they have to put it on and you'll see it in here, they put it on a stand.
Right.
And on that stand, that means that you put the bait and so on. And when it comes off, then you're not in the called for the formal session. The same thing happens in every assembly in Canada and in the House of Commons. Behind you, yeah, and right here, in the big rock, is that igloo?
Yeah, it's a male, a whale.
A whale fluke.
Yeah.
On the other side, there's two igloos.
He looks warm.
Right here, these are all seal skin. These are from ring seal.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I took a picture of that already.
And right up until
Lots of tape.
1985, 86, hunting for fur and so on was really a big profession here. And they bring these got involved and run the fur market.
One legislature we went to, they had like dinosaurs lying in their pillars.
Wow, is that right?
That's in Queen's Park.
Queen's Park.
Actually, I didn't know unless we got home to go to.
Is that right?
Yeah, but it's in the one of the apartment hall.
Donated gift. This is a gift donated from the Highland Indians, the West Coast. It's a speaking platform.
Isn't that sweet?
Over here, again, we have seal skin, and it shows the Inukshuk. The Inukshuk is this item right
You're
here.
okay, honey.
It's right, it is symbolic representations of Inukshuk. It's a marker. And traditionally, when you were on a trail, you didn't have trees or like landmarks. So they would build out of rocks a landmark or an Inukshuk.
What do you call that? What is that called?
It's called the Inukshuk.
A Nukshuk.
So what's the one called in Thunder Bay then? Or the one up
That
north?
the Indians use.
Because we see these lot of rockmans on our journey through the...
Ontario.
I think what's
Yeah.
happening is people are building them now. They're
Maybe because they are
Yeah.
people from
yeah,
here?
and people see them and they start building them.
They must, yeah.
Well, there's a big thing. The LPPs, the police in Ontario have
Oh,
a
really?
big thing.
They gave me a
with
big plaque
Yeah.
with that on
A
it.
glass one.
It had
Yeah.
more of a bigger spot through here though, didn't it?
Yeah.
No?
They can be
Like right
different.
in here, yeah.
There's different kinds of design. This is the most. If you go out, when you come into the ledge here outside, you'll see big
Yeah.
ones built by outside of the building. And that's what that's from. But Inukshuk, Inuk means a person. And Inuk is a person. And Inukshuk is like a person. So that's where the name comes from.
Okay.
Inukshuk, like a person.
One person is Inuk.
Wow.
Right here, this is from Greenland. This is from Greenland. And it's a representation of Sarnia, or as we call it here, Biliary, which is the mermaid. And she's trying to get the creatures. And the mermaid was formed from the fingers and the hands of a person. There's a great tradition and story with it. Now these are walrus tusks right here. And they form the handles of the doorway. Each walrus tusk is pure ivory. Pure ivory. And depending on the weight of the walrus tusk, that's how you price it out. So in this case, those will probably be about $400 on the pure ivory.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice.
Wonderful.
Sorry.
This is probably, as I was just saying, one of the greatest architectural masterpieces in Canada today. And there are several things that make this unique. One, of course, is the architecture. It's a dome shaped like an igloo.
Yeah.
Right.
And in Nunavut, the government here, there's no parties. We don't have Liberal Party or Progressive Conservative Party,
Okay.
Tory Party, Reform Party. Everyone runs as an independent. And when you're elected, there's 19 members, you get together and you decide who's going to be in cabinet, the ministers, and who's going to be the premier. So the 19 vote amongst themselves, and they pick a premier, and then you pick the cabinet ministers. Whoever's left over, sit over on this side, and they become your opposition or your ordinary member.
Okay.
And the cabinet will be on this side. So in Nunavut, the cabinet is always outvoted by the ordinary members. We're always in a minority government situation.
Look at the chairs.
Oh, I know, I just want to touch
Yep,
everything.
so this is all sealskin again. And then the chairs are inlaid with leather, tan, and sealskin again. And now, Kristopher, we're going to have some fun with you. We're going to bring you over here to the chair. By the way, I want to explain one more thing that I think is really important here. Elders.
Right.
Our elders are very important in Nunavut. So
Okay.
when you went to Queen's Park, for example, you see where the gallery sits in Queen's Park or the House of Commons. They're hundreds of feet away from the action. Here, an elder will sit here. When an elder comes in, the members, the minister, you're sitting right here. The elders would come in, older people. And then the actual gallery is just right behind you. This is the actual gallery.
Okay.
So it's not uncommon where me, as the Minister of Education, I could be standing up saying, we're trying to do the best, and then the elder might say, no, you're not. No, you're not. And you can't interrupt. So that may happen. Like, it's not uncommon. This is all sealskin again, around.
I want a
And
legislature
I'm
like
going to
this.
bring Chris, sit right down here, and our friend Mr. Paul looked like the Premier's chair.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now,
Get a
your mom's
5.
going to, your mom,
A 5.
just go over here. We'll put you in Mr. Hunter Tutu's chair. Put you in Hunter's chair. Come on over here, Mom. And we're going to have a little bit of debate. That's this assembly is that in other assemblies, when you're doing debate and you can't hear anything, this building is built for sound. So if Kristopher would stand up and ask his mom a question, all right, now you're the Premier, so you answer the questions. Chris, so you won't ask her a question. Your mom's going to ask you a question. The speaker will be over here in the speaker's chair, and we'll get to this in a second. And I'm going to call on the member. I'm going to just call her. I'm just going to call you the Honorable Kristopher's mom, for sake of the question.
So I would stand up?
Yeah, and then yes, you'll stand up and ask your question, and then Premier Knowles will have an opportunity to answer you. So the honorable mom of the Kristopher Knowles, could you please ask your question now?
How was your trip here, Chris?
And I'll say, Mr. Premier.
I loved it. It's great. Is he voting or?
But the point is, the point of
It'd be nicer than
the point
that.
of the assembly being, even though you're talking, and you speak
Yeah.
at a very low voice, you can hear it perfectly in this assembly. So if you got into a discussion where it was heated or debate, it would sound very loud, and that keeps the decorum of the House low. It's very civil compared to down south where you're shouting back and forth. You don't see that here.
Yeah, you didn't have to shout for, don't yell at me.
Right here is up here is the technical room, and you'll notice one other innovation here, cost over $7 million, is the automatic camera situation. So when you sum over to this side,
Oh, I see, okay.
and
So
you'll become just the focus.
Focus.
The camera won't go anywhere else, just on you. And as soon as you stop speaking, then the Premier speaks, then the camera will focus over this camera over here.
Oh, that's cool.
These cameras up here will continually to focus on the speaker. And we can broadcast live out of this building we have. When the Queen Elizabeth came here,
Right.
when Queen Elizabeth came and she addressed the assembly, we broadcast live across the world, and with the audiovisual equipment we have, we can do that. So if you would come over here, we'll look at the commentator.
Look at
This
the
commentator here is the traditional type of commentator that we saw out there, but this one is actually made the traditional way. The rope here is called ujuk rope, and it comes from the ujuk or square flipper seal. Fantastically strong. It doesn't bend or break, and even in cold weather like this, it's flexible. Fantastic. The runners of the comatic are made out of bone.
Oh, okay.
These are made out of whale bone and caribou antler. On top of the comatic here's a seal skin that's been scraped free, and it's been used as a covering. And then we have different implements. You're not allowed to touch these. Come here.
Oh, okay.
Chris, you're not allowed.
Scared me one time.
Come here right there. Chris, right over at the center. Christopher, you're not allowed to touch these. These are real artifacts. This is made out of whalebone. This is a snow knife. It's called a pauna, and it's a snow knife. And this is how you traditionally have made an igloo.
Yeah, I see.
Here, an
Yeah.
igloo is called an igloo viga. We don't say
Igloo viga.
igloo, but in real technology, you'd say igloo viga here. Terminology here in Nunavut.
Holy. Yeah, well.
Is that made in 3
Look at
pieces?
you.
And it's light, just
Two?
Beautiful.
so that's
Is that
so
that seal thing again?
the leather.
That is caribou.